So hi and welcome to my channel. A few days ago I shared a video on here kind of celebrating the fact that Ghana had allegedly signed a deal with the UK to provide nurses, which means that Ghana allegedly signed a deal with the UK government, so the government in Ghana and the government in the UK, so that nurses can move from Ghana to come and work in the UK. So when I made this video, I've had so many messages from nurses in Ghana and midwives, and in fact, people in Ghana saying to me, Melvis, what do you think? Should I use this pathway to move to the UK? Is it worth it? Or should I try to find my own way to move to the UK? What do you think? And while I like to just say, look, do what you want, is up to you. Use the information that you've got to make informed decisions. That's still what I'm saying now. I just want to say what I would do if I was a nurse right now in Ghana. So please, if you're new to the channel, you're welcome here. It's a pleasure to have you. If you're a returning subscriber, again, I do appreciate the time that you take to watch these videos, and I do hope that you find them helpful, you find them useful, and that most importantly, you're actually implementing the information. And before I forget, I do have a newsletter where I drop information directly to your inbox because I don't want you missing out on any information. If there's any update regarding the UK, I send it directly to your inbox. If anybody's recruiting, there's a really good, juicy vacancy or a great opportunity, I send it to your inbox as well. So if you're somebody who is keen on moving to the UK, or you're already in the UK right now, you're looking for the best opportunities, then you do want to join my newsletter, because if you're part of it, then you'll be getting that information. Because look, I don't want to leave you on the mercy of YouTube and its algorithms deciding which video should you see, which should you not see, what should you miss out, what should you miss out. I want you to have the information that you need and that you deserve to have. So check the link in the comment section. I'm going to drop a link to my newsletter, and do make sure that you join, because I'm going to be sending that info to you. So now let's talk about this particular deal. So in case you're not aware, the government in Ghana signed a deal allegedly with the government in the UK. And basically, it says that the UK is going to give Ghana £1,000 for each nurse that comes to the UK from Ghana through this particular government agreement. One thing is that I'm going to say Ghana is still on the red list. There's been rumors, there's been people saying Ghana is no longer on the red list, Ghana is out. There's been Ghana nurses and midwives, celebrating. Look, the World Health Organization is responsible for deciding who is on the red list and who isn't. And the World Health Organization, as of today that I'm recording this video, still has Ghana on the red list. What this means is that it is morally it is morally wrong to actively recruit healthcare professionals from Ghana to work in other countries, because Ghana needs these healthcare professionals. But what I've been hearing from nurses and midwives over in Ghana is that there are people who are unemployed. And when I hear that nurses are unemployed, as somebody, I trained in the UK. And by the way, if you're new here and we don't know each other, my name is Melvis. I currently work as an advanced nurse practitioner in the UK. I also have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, people that want to get into nursing, people that are looking for the best visa sponsorship jobs to move to the UK, and people that are looking for the best opportunities for career progression in the UK. I can support you with that through my private coaching program, so that you can achieve your goals, you can thrive, you can excel, whether it's wanting to move to the UK, but most importantly, you're already in the UK and you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm a nurse, I want to become a nurse anesthetist, I want to become a nurse practitioner, I want to become a specialist nurse, I want to become a nurse endoscopist, I want to become a nurse manager. What do I do? Or you're a carer, you find yourself somewhere, you're thinking to yourself, this is not for me, I need something else, I need something more. What else can I do? Again, that my coaching program is 100% for you. Or you're thinking of getting into nursing, getting into healthcare, those clinical and non-clinical healthcare jobs, I can support you with the journey to transition into that particular career, so that you can thrive, you can excel. So again, if this is something that you're keen on, I want you to leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, ask any questions you've got about the program, or share the link. You can see what the program is about, and look, you can decide whether it's for you. Which, if you're into healthcare, you're keen on healthcare, keen on moving to the UK, look, it's gonna be a program that will be very, very helpful for you. Currently, I've got people in the program most of the people are already in the UK. Some people are still out of the UK, but there are people from all different countries, and it is just amazing to have the diversity, to have all of that support, because look, getting support is something that is very, very challenging. If you're in the UK, you're wanting to move, getting the right information that you need to help you move and get the visa that you deserve or that you want, it can be very, very challenging, even though it seems like there's a lot of information out there. But sieving that information, deciding which information is best for your personal circumstances, is what the challenge is. So if you join the coaching program, obviously my private coaching program, then I'll look into that with you, see what's the best pathway for you to use, that is going to be the best for your personal circumstances. And if you're already in the UK, what else can you do? And also retiring early is something that I'm really passionate about. I'm hoping to retire by the time I'm 40 years old, because look, I want to enjoy life. I want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to work until I drop. And so I'm currently, going through different things and different stages and exploring different opportunities. And so I'm going to be sharing those opportunities with you. So you do want to subscribe to the channel as well. Turn on that notification button, because you want to be notified every time I drop a new video. I've done videos on here about, side businesses, work from home opportunities. You want to check all of those out. So that's who I am. In case you're not, if this is your first time. So, like I was saying, if I was a nurse over in Ghana, would I use this pathway to move to the UK? The answer is no, I would not have used this pathway to move to the UK, and I wouldn't do so for different reasons. Obviously, I'm going to say I applaud the government in Ghana for doing this, for negotiating and actually doing this deal with the UK, because there are many other governments that wouldn't even be bothered at all whatsoever, one bit, to do anything like this. So, Ghana, you're to be applauded. But you could have negotiated better. That's what I'm going to say. Because if I was on your negotiating table, you would have had a much better deal. Because look, it cost the UK over £140,000 to train one nurse through an apprenticeship, but yet Ghana is giving away its own nurses. Ghana is giving away her own nurses to work in the UK for £1,000 each. It is very, very sad that this is how nurses are valued. £1,000 is absolutely nothing. Like I say, it costs a UK employer about £140,000 to train one single nurse through an apprenticeship. And nurses that are coming from Ghana, these are nurses that are already trained, these are nurses that are already experienced, these are nurses that have to do the hours, they have to do the OET, do all of that, and come here. You know, look, for me, Ghana could have had a better deal through this. That's all I'm trying to say. But well done, obviously, for trying to negotiate. And nurses from Ghana are incredibly skilled, incredibly talented, very respectful, calm. One of the best mentors that I've had in nursing was actually over from Ghana. She mentored me, to progress in my career, and she's been a mentor to me, really. And so I know what these nurses bring. And I don't think that the government quite understands the value in its nurses. I think, me being in the UK, obviously I do understand the need that the UK has for these nurses, but I think somebody in Ghana doesn't quite understand the value that they have being a nurse, being a midwife, or being a healthcare professional. So I think that is something that was really missed. So personally, I would not use this pathway if I was a nurse in Ghana, like I said. And the reason I wouldn't is because if you're wanting to move to the UK and remain in the UK, then you cannot do so with this particular government agreement, because the government in Ghana, apparently they have agreed that after 3 years, the nurses that come to the UK through this pathway will have to return home to Ghana. And I think this is because of the red list status that Ghana has. And so both governments have to be seen to be respecting the World Health Organization, because if the nurses then come and stay in the UK forever, then obviously Ghana is losing healthcare professionals. But if they say stay for 3 years and then return home, then obviously it's like work experience and then going back home to implement those strategies that I've learned here in the UK. But the truth is, how many nurses are going to come to the UK and then after 3 years want to go back? What if you've got your family? What if you've got kids? What if you've got a husband? You've got a wife? That's where the challenges are going to begin. Because if you're coming to the UK to stay for 3 years, do you bring your family with you or not? And this is the reason why I would not personally use this pathway if I was a nurse in Ghana. I would rather find my own way, come to the UK myself and make sure that I can stay and live on my own terms. This doesn't mean that if you come to the UK on your own, you can't leave after 3 years. You can still leave, but that's going to be your decision. Which means that if you choose to stay after the 3 years, then you can stay. But with this government agreement, again, you will not be able to do so. In terms of pay, some people have been asking, Melvis, are we going to be paid the same as other nurses that have come individually if we come through the government pathway? Yes, in the UK, every single nurse is paid the same. It doesn't matter where you trained, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, it doesn't matter your citizenship, it doesn't matter whether you've got a visa or you've got British citizenship. Every single nurse is paid the same. We're all paid fairly. Obviously, the starting salary is the same, but as you're progressing into different positions, that's when your pay is going to change. But everybody is going to be paid the same. So if two nurses come from Ghana, one uses the government pathway and one doesn't, once you get to the UK, both of you are going to earn exactly the same amount of money. Another question that I'm getting asked is, IELTS OET, is it exempted if I come through the government program? Well, not really. You still need to have IELTS, you still need to have OET, the required grades that the NMC stipulates, because the NMC is not part of this agreement. The NMC is there to give you that PIN number to practice in the UK. So the NMC still wants you to have that PIN number if you're coming from Ghana with or without the government agreement. It makes no difference whatsoever. When the UK makes an agreement with any country, all the things, the requirements that you need to register as a nurse or midwife, they stand. Those requirements do not change. They're not flexible. It's only the NMC that can change those requirements. The government cannot decide that these nurses are not going to write as OET.com. It's not possible. So yes, if you're in Ghana, whether you use the government pathway or not, you still need to pass out to OET and have the required grade. So that's something that you do need to be aware of. Again, can you bring your family on this visa? Many people are asking. I don't know, because the visa is only for 3 years. So it's a temporary visa that the government in Ghana has agreed with the government in the UK. It is not a permanent UK visa. It is a temporary visa, which means when you come to the UK, you will have to go back to Ghana after 3 years. You cannot renew that visa. And again, people are saying, is Ghana out of the red list? No, Ghana isn't off the red list. Ghana is still very much so on the red list, because it's the World Health Organization that decides which country is on the red list, which country isn't. So yes, Ghana is still very much on the red list. The next thing that people are asking is, can I therefore use a recruitment agency if I choose to come on my own? So because Ghana is still on the red list, you cannot use a recruitment agency to come to the UK from Ghana if you choose to come independently, obviously. But with regards to the government recruitment, the government, they will have to decide how they go about it. But generally, what happens is that there will be particularly hospitals that can go to Ghana, for example, and do interviews, or they can do interviews online directly, and you've got that direct link to recruitment. So it's going to be easier to get a job in the UK if you use the government pathway. But the only difference is that you cannot stay permanently when you get here. So for me, I would rather take longer to find my own way to get to the UK and leave when I choose, if I choose to leave, rather than use the government's pathway and only have 3 years to be. Because then you've got that dilemma of, should you bring your kids, should you not? Should you bring your husband, should you not? Should you bring your wife, should you not? And that is where the challenge is going to be. And look, you may be watching this and you're a nurse from Ghana, you're a midwife, and you're thinking, oh, but if I come to the UK, I'm going to find ways. Surely it's going to be easier. It is not that easy in the UK. When it comes to visas, you've got a temporary visa, you're trying to change to a permanent visa, it is very, very challenging. So you want to make sure that even if it means you're going to stay longer in Ghana, I would rather stay longer in Ghana and come independently than do otherwise. So you cannot use a recruitment agency if you choose to come independently, even if this agreement is in place, because like we said, Ghana unfortunately is still on the red list. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you do want to hit subscribe, join the newsletter, because when there's any change, when they start recruiting as well, I don't know which hospital is going to be recruiting so far. So many people have criticized this agreement. I was watching even just talking with some of my colleagues at work, and people are very much against. They see it as exploitation. They see it as exploitation, because how can you get a nurse to work for £1,000, as in you get paid £1,000. Some people are like, that's ridiculous, but it's all we've all got our views, but like I said, we do need to applaud the government in Ghana for trying to negotiate these deals, because many other governments aren't bothered anyway. But either way, they could have negotiated a better deal. Because if you look at the fact that the UK is desperately in need of nurses, the UK is short of nurses. These are experienced nurses that are going to be leaving Ghana and moving to the UK. So again, each to their own. This is what I would do. I hope that this video has given you more information on this particular pathway. This video has answered some of the questions that you may have had, but if it hasn't, no worries whatsoever. Leave any comments in the comment section. What are you going to do if you're a nurse in Ghana? Are you going to use this government's pathway to come to the UK, or are you going to apply independently? What are your reasons for this? What is your motivation? Again, leave the comments in the comment section and I'll be there to interact with you, to talk further, and just to see what it is that you're hoping to do. And again, if you need support with that process, you want to check out my private coaching program. If you're already in the UK, look, career progression is key, because you want to make sure that you're earning a lot of money. You want to make sure that you're enhancing your skills. You want to make sure that you're not stuck at the same level for your entire career, because look, it is very, very easy to do so and just think, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or this is so difficult, or how do I go about this? No, there is a lot of support out there. When you're not getting it from me, but do make sure that you're getting the support that you deserve, because like I say, career progression is key. It is something that is a basic necessity. It is something that you deserve. It is something that is not reserved for the lucky few, but you do need to put yourself out there. I hope that you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching till the very end, and watch other videos that I've done on the channel about different visas to move to the UK, interview preparation, they're trying to get a carer job, clinical, non-clinical healthcare jobs. How much do these jobs pay? How do you apply for jobs? Where are the vacancies advertised? You want to check all this information, because the reason I'm doing it is so that it can help you with implementation, because implementation is key. Information overload is what is going on right now, video after video after video. But look, you need to be able to take time, sit back and implement, and that is where my private coaching comes in to help you with that implementation. Thank you so much for watching. Nurse Melvis here. Keep watching the videos.